What are the key discovery in these documents that we're seeing? What does it kind of change about the context of Carlos Ghosn's downfall?
Well, it's long been suspected and obviously, as he said, asserted by Ghosn himself that this takedown was motivated by forces within Nissan that were opposed to his plans for the car maker. So the information that we gathered, which includes emails between key executives and details from people who were there at the time, for the first time really lays that out. It doesn't litigate or relitigate the charges against them, but does give some indication that there may have been a motivation for why they cooperated with prosecutors, why this alleged misdoing was hidden from Renault, the alliance partner of Nissan for many decades. We found that top executives at Nissan, including the former head of the Chief Executive's Office, a guy called Hari Nada, and the CEO himself, Hiroto Saikawa, were worried about Ghosn's plans for further consolidation of the alliance with Renault as early as February of 2018, and that's almost a year before Ghosn was eventually arrested.
So, Emma, why is this only coming out now?
This story's been months in the making. It's the result of a lot of reporting and speaking with people involved in Nissan. There's always been a massive question over what Nissan knew, why they cooperated, whether the allegations against Ghosn, which, as I said, are quite separate to this, warranted the cooperation and the backing that the company and executives within it gave to the Tokyo prosecutors. This fills in some of those gaps about what they were worried about, what top executives at Nissan were worried about. They didn't want further consolidation and tie-ups between the automakers in the world's biggest car alliance, and they were also worried about their own fate in terms of Ghosn's reaction to what was a steadily deteriorating financial balance sheet for the company.
So what does it mean going forward for Nissan there and this alliance issue?
Well, this could potentially be quite destabilising. We learned of a memo sent by the executive Hari Nada to the former CEO the day before Ghosn's arrest, where he was laying out a plan for how Nissan should play Ghosn's ouster. He called for the termination of RAMA. This is the agreement that governs what is the world's biggest auto alliance, but which gives Renault certain powers over Nissan. The restoration as well of Nissan's right to buy shares with Renault or even take that company over, as well as the scrapping of Renault's right to nominate key executives like its COO. And we already know that Renault was kept in the dark on Ghosn's arrest and these plans, and that has had fundamental ramifications for trust between the two car makers. And coming at such a pivotal time, the auto industry under huge pressure from the economic slowdown brought on by the pandemic and more long-term pressures from this pivot to electrification. They need cooperation as much as they can at this time.
Yeah, which is really interesting because now in their latest overhaul, it seems that they will be cooperating even more than was previously planned. So what happened to all of those key players in this saga?
Well, most of them are either already working at Nissan or have retired. Saikawa, the former CEO, who was quite pivotal at the time of Ghosn's arrest, was the head of Nissan, was quite censorious when those allegations came down. He himself left the company in September with his own pay scandal. Hari Nada, that key executive at the heart of all this, he remains at the company. He doesn't speak, but has been pivotal, as I said, in the internal investigation that the company did into Carlos Ghosn.